Competition climbing is where innovation is coming from in holds, innovations in route settings. Like everything that we experience in climbing gyms is at least partially influenced by competition climbing. This is Climbing Gold.
In your mind, is comp climbing real climbing?
No, competition climbing is very much real climbing in so much as in some ways it's the purest form of climbing. It depends on how you define climbing, but I think that competition climbing really is climbing at the highest physical standard and under the highest amount of pressure in a lot of ways. What climbing competitors go through is just incredible. And really that's just what is driving the sport right now. For better or for worse. I know there are people that don't like indoor climbing or don't like competition, but at a certain point you just have to change with the times and accept that this is where the growth in climbing is coming from, and this is where the rising standard in performance is coming from. Competition climbing is the thing that's making climbers better. Most of the best climbers in the world are going to the Olympics, or basically almost all of the best climbers in the world. Seb Wuan being a notable exception because he does new competitions at all. But 2 out of the 3 people who have climbed 15D in the world, or 9C, are going to the Olympics. And actually, if you extended that to people who climb 9B plus, it's like even more 9B. It's like, a significant portion of the best climbers in the world are doing competitions, and that is what they're training for, and that is part of what allows them to climb at the highest levels outdoors. So, it's like whether you like competition climbing or not, that is the fuel for this rising standard in climbing performance. Like that is, competition climbing is the thing that's motivating a lot of these people to train nonstop and continually raise their level.
Yeah. For a long time, and climbers had very mixed emotions about this, obviously, but Everest was a really important thing. And a lot of times people, if you were a climber and someone knew that wasn't a climber, they'd ask you like, well, do you ever think about climbing Mount Everest? And you're like, not really. But like from your perspective, is comp climbing maybe the most important thing that's happening right now in our sport?
Well, comp climbing is certainly way more important than commercial mountaineering in that comp climbing represents the cutting edge of difficulty. It's like the very limit of possibility right now. Whereas something like commercial mountaineering, it's commercial. Literally anybody can just pay money and go have this experience. And you're kind of like, that's just not climbing per se. And so, competition climbing is where innovation is coming from in holds, innovations in route settings. Like everything that we experience in climbing gyms is at least partially influenced by competition climbing. Competition climbing has a wide reach across all of rock climbing right now, whereas something like commercial mountaineering, which even though it gets way more mainstream media attention, really has no bearing on any actual climber's experience.
Beyond the Olympics, some of these competitors are out there. Like, do you imagine that they're going to go do incredible things in our sport?
Oh, anybody who's competing at the Olympics could go outdoors and climb at the highest standard if they chose to. They've been climbing indoors, they've been training for years, they're aiming for the Olympics, or aiming for World Cup success, whatever else. But they are climbing at a standard which is truly elite outdoors. Like they can do whatever they want outdoors. They just haven't chosen to yet. And so I think that as we see some of these people age out of competition, or not make their national team for the next year or whatever else, we're going to see incredible things happen outdoors.